Hey everyone, welcome to How-FixIT. In this video guide, I'll show you how to disassemble the DualSense Edge controller to repair buttons or replace broken parts. The following tools are required to disassemble the controller: Phillips 1 screwdriver, tweezers, and plastic opening tools. I recommend using a magnetic mat during the repair process, which is helpful in the case of the DualSense controller. Keep track of each screw throughout disassembly, so you can put them back in the right places. This will help you successfully reassemble your controller. And don't worry about losing any screws. All of them will definitely remain on the magnetic mat. I left links where to buy all the necessary tools in the description. If you have spilled some liquid on your controller, I recommend watching my video, How to Restore a Liquid-Damaged DualSense Controller. In this video guide, you will find helpful information on controller recovery, which also applies to DualSense Edge. On the back of the controller, push the latch to the side until the cover is released. Next, raise the release lever attached to the stick module and slide out of its slot. Now you can replace the right or left stick module. I left a link to a replacement stick for DualSense Edge in the description. Remove the L1 and R1 buttons by prying them up using a plastic tool. Next, carefully remove this back panel. Remove 7 screws on the back of the controller housing, and 2 screws under the L1 and R1 buttons. Carefully remove the spring with the panel. Remove 2 more screws. Now you can open the DualSense Edge controller housing. Turn over the battery and disconnect the cable from the mainboard using a plastic tool. Press on this black part with your finger, then remove the 2 screws and the metal bracket. Remove the mechanical elements of the back button. Disconnect the ribbon cable from the module of the back button. Also, disconnect the wire of the vibration module. Carefully remove the back button module using a plastic tool. Now you can replace the back button module. In the description, I left a link to a replacement back button module for the DualSense Edge controller. Depending on the side of the button, the modules differ. Check the part number on yours and the replacement module. Carefully disconnect the ribbon cable and remove the back microphone. Also disconnect the front microphone ribbon cable. Remove the 2 screws securing the adaptive trigger. Flip over the trigger and disconnect the cable from the mainboard. Now you can remove the adaptive trigger. In the description, I left a link to a video guide for a detailed disassembly of the adaptive trigger. In the same way, remove the second module. Disconnect the cable and remove the mainboard from the controller housing. Now you can replace the mainboard of the DualSense Edge controller. Depending on the revision of the DualSense Edge controller, the mainboards may differ. Check the part number on yours and the replacement mainboard. Remove the speaker from the front panel. Remove the silicone pad of the PS button and the mute button. Remove the front microphone. Remove the silicone pad of the Options button and the Create button. This conductive film is responsible for the operation of the directional buttons and action buttons. If this graphite coating has poor contact, the buttons will not work. You can clean this coating using a cotton swab and restore the button's function. Please note, I do not recommend cleaning the graphite contacts with isopropyl alcohol. Just clean it with a cotton swab. Otherwise, you may wash off the graphite layer and thus damage the contact coating. After cleaning graphite contacts, if one of the buttons does not work, this black contact coating on the film stops transmitting a signal when the button is pressed, and therefore it needs to replace this conductive film. I left a link to the conductive film for a DualSense Edge controller in the description. Remove the two springs from the front housing. This silicone pad is part of the button mechanism. This black conductive coating is in contact with the graphite contacts. Use a cotton swab to clean these silicone pads or wash them under water to prevent the sticking buttons. I do not recommend using isopropyl alcohol to clean the black contacts of the rubber pad. Also, I left a link to the new conductive silicone pads in the description. Remove the screw and release the lever attached to the front panel. The part number for the left lever is different from the right lever. Remove the last two screws to release the touchpad. At this step, the DualSense Edge controller is completely disassembled. Let's move on to reassembly. Connect the battery and check the contact with the mainboard. The DualSense Edge is assembled. Now let's check the operation of the buttons. In the description, I left a link where you can check each button in detail for pressing. The controller seems fully functional. All of the buttons work fine, so the repair is over. In conclusion, I can recommend my other video guide, where I show you how to disassemble and clean dust from the PS5. This will help fix overheating and increase the game console's life. I recommend cleaning the PS5 at least once a year if you use it often, especially since it is not difficult. You were on How-FixIT. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.